Hi everybody, here we are at the full moon, just after the solstice. So I always call the solstice a full sun. So we've got a full moon and a full sun together. So there's probably a lot of stuff coming up for everybody, I'll bet. And a powerful time for checking in, as always, with the full moon. So I'm glad you're all here. People are still going to be coming in, so the page is going to be moving around and things like that. We've got Laura's in my studio today. She's blessing it with her beautiful energy. So you can actually see that. Hi, Laura. I'm glad you're here. So hello, everybody on Zoom and on Facebook, who I don't see, but I know you're there. And I see my Zoom friends, most of you. Kathy, hi. Dave, wow. So this is the sun is in Cancer, so happy birthday all the Cancerian people. Brian's birthday's coming up this weekend, I think it is. And also because always with the full moons we have the polarity. So whenever you can always know what the full moon is in by the sign you're in. So it's the sun is in Cancer, so it's time for Cancerian birthdays. So it's always the opposite sign, Capricorn. So the sun's in Cancer, Capricorn full moon. Capricorn, so Capricorn becomes very important when we're doing full moon work, when the opposite sign of the solar sign, right? So the solar sign is sending the impulse in esoterics, and this is always so confusing, right? I just did a meditation with Meditation Mount, and when I teach that, we use the solar energy to work with because we're working with the sun energy, which is closer to the Sirius energy that you've heard me talk about. So we use that downpouring to be received in the full moon, Capricorn now, on our Earth. So the Earth experience is the thing, right? We're experiencing as the personality, we're experiencing a Capricorn full moon, but it's also energetically still Cancerian energy, so the mother energy, the mother of the world energy, that great big energy of the container, right? And the Earth is the container in a way. So it's interesting to think of it like that. So if you've got, planets in Cancer, or you are a Cancer, or you have Capricorn, or you are a Capricorn, planets in Capricorn, you'll feel this more than everybody else because it's highlighting something. So wherever the sun is and wherever the moon is, it illuminates. So what we're illuminating right now is, from the Earth's perspective, is Capricorn things, the things of the building of things, the aspirational aspect. Capricorn climbs up, right? It climbs the mountain. It's the goat, right? And it keeps its balance and it's steady as she goes, and there's no distraction. It just keeps climbing. So it's very much a sign for the aspirants, right? Because it goes up and up and up and up and up, right? So that's the energy of Capricorn. So they'll say about Capricorn energy that it's it is successful, right? And it's good at organizational and it's CEO stuff, right? The executive, and it's ambitious. But to me, that's like there's low vibration and high vibration of every single sign when you think about it, right? Think of low vibration Scorpio, high vibration Scorpio. I use that one because I'm a Scorpio. And low vibration Scorpio is really different than high vibration Scorpio. Low vibration Scorpio is the scorpion. High vibration Scorpio is the phoenix, right? It rises from the ash. So in all signs, they have that duality within them. So on one hand, you could say Capricorn's ambitious. Not that there's anything wrong with that, to be ambitious, but it isn't just about that. It's about aspiration, of making something better than it was before. So when you're thinking of your own sun sign, You can start to think about like what's the high version and the low version. And I talk about these things often in these kinds of formats when I'm talking about astrology or about the moons, because it's interesting to consider, high vibration Leo, low vibration Leo, right? Any sign we pick. High vibration Pisces, low vibration Pisces. Can't get anything done, can't get forward, can't get momentum, gets too dreamy, can be a drug addict. I'm just, the worst case scenarios for a Pisces. But the best case scenario for Pisces, high vibration Pisces, is that's the Christed energy, right? It's pure love, pure love. So every sign has that dynamic in it. So here we are in this dynamic of the Cancerian energy, solar, hitting the ground in a Capricornian kind of way. So we're building. And to me, and what I wrote, or to myself, like the note that I wrote down was downshifting. The energy's been very forward, as you know. And especially in spring, things are very forward anyway. And we're coming into summer. We just literally had summer solstice, so we are in summer now. And so it wants to go forward some more, right? But Capricorn goes, it goes from third gear to second gear. You go, you're going, wait, take your time, be aware of where you're going, make sure you've got a map, right? So you're starting to organize yourself for the rest of the year. And so this Capricornian energy is about reality, what's real, what's manifested. At the solstice, which was amazing, we talked about the winter solstice words, that every year we do this ritual with getting a word from the soul given to us to work on all year long. And at around summer solstice, it's halfway through, right? You've got a 6-month arc. It's not finished because it finishes when it comes back to winter solstice. But at the 6-month mark, you're probably full on into that word. Whatever it was, some of you that weren't able to be there, it's good to check back in with your words, because you might be experiencing the difficulty of that word or the opposite of that word, right? And so because it's an arc and it's soul given, you're meant to understand it from many, 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 every angle. So you're looking it up and down and around, and you're spinning it and you're understanding it. And so we've hit the halfway mark of the year for everybody as we hit the solstice and a full moon right next to it. So even though the energy wants to go forward, there's this downshifting energy to it, which means slow down, take your time, make sure you know where you're going, what are you trying to do, checking in your rear view mirrors. It's like you want that reality check. Like, is this what you mean? Is this what you plan? So when we're making choices or interactions with other people, or big decisions or little decisions for that matter in our lives, this is a good time to check in with that energy to see, is this what you really mean? Is this where you want to go? It's easy to get hot in the hot summer months, right? We get hot-headed, we get hot, tempered, we get like fused, where somebody can light something and something happens over here. And with that Capricorn energy, it's about caution, careful, up, careful stepping, right? The goat, if you've ever seen those pictures where goats are like hanging on the side of a cliff somehow, and they're like just completely against it and they're just happy as a clam. That's how happy as a goat on a mountain cliff. They're just comfortable. But they're careful. There's a caution. They know how to stay safe. And in a way, that's one of the things I wanted to bring into the energy of this full moon, is to check yourself. Is this what you mean? Like, this is not a good time to make reactive decisions where you're burning the house down, and cutting cords and leaving forever, and that's it, where you have that kind of finality thing. This is a wait kind of time, just for a little while, as you just re-look at the reality, because that's a word that's absolutely Saturnian or Capricorn, of the reality of the situation so that you can better determine what do you want to do next, right? What is your next, literally Capricorn, what is your next step, right? That next step. So when you're looking out into your future, you're carefully deciding, where do you want to move? What job do you want to get? How do you want to change your life a little bit or a lot? But it's not a quite take action. Okay? It's more of a decision time where you're determining that. So it's an opportunity to look at the reality of your life right now. A lot of people, when I'm talking to them, the reality's been grim. You know, there's a lot of hard decisions that are being made, a lot of difficulties and changes that are happening, situational. I have never seen so many people moving around on the chessboard, right? So they used to be here and now they're over here, or they're getting ready to go over there, whether it be physically moving residences, changing jobs, changes in relationships, things, changes of mind, right? Which is the biggest of all, changes of energy, changes in our own energy. This is a time to step up. Right? So we're going up. So this is a time to raise your vibration. But what's also happening as we're having the option of going up, there's also choices that are being made of going down. And that's okay, because everybody's where they're supposed to be, right? But because we're all meditators, you're all meditators here, probably you're stepping up into the higher frequency of the opportunity that this time is, to be able to step into a higher frequency of your own life, whether it be literally moving, for instance, you know, changing something, or changing something, right? Changing something, how you look at things, how you want to view the world, how you want to meet the world, right? And so many of the conversations I'm having with people are, you know, a lot of upset energy as they're saying, I can't believe this is happening, and what if this happens, and what if this happens, and what if this happens? And you've got to hold, right? This is what I'm always teaching. How do you hold for the highest good? Not the worst thing you can think of, right? So there's a lot of worse things you can think of right now going on out there. People are talking to each other about it. It's on the news. It's kind of everywhere you look. Just walking in my neighborhood, there's issues of, you know, who's wearing a mask and who's not wearing a mask still, very much active, and lots of glares and looks if you're not, and, you know, just as an example of the dissonant energy that is happening. And so can you greet the world, can you meet the world in a way of hopefulness, love, reaching up, knowing that we're going through a passageway to a new opening and another opening. And the more that we all hold together on a full moon, which is not just us we, it is the big, big we, around the world, there are millions of other conscious souls, all doing what we're doing, holding for the happy birth of a new world, not the worst thing that can happen, right? And so that's part of the work to me. And Capricorn's about work, getting to work, hard work, putting your nose down and doing the work, pulling when you want to rest or you want to give up, and pulling anyway, together, right, for a greater good. So that's kind of what's happening. And you may be finding a lot of contrasting energy right now around you. You know, and that's because that's just what's happening. That's what's been happening last year, all year, this year still. And even though things are moving and changing, there's still a lot of tension, a lot of stresses happening, because in a way, you know, the shit has hit the fan. You know, people are having to, their rents aren't being, you know, released. You know, people that haven't been able to pay their rents are having to move out. People are changing jobs. There's so much movement on the board, right? And so, but no matter where you find yourself personally in all of that, know that you're going up, and hold that as where you're going, right? To actually on purpose raise the frequency, raise the vibration from a fear thought to a how can I help thought. I listened to this whole podcast the other day. I'm trying to think who it was. It wasn't Brene Brown, but it was somebody like that. And she was saying that the 4 biggest words in the world were, how can I help? That is a really good formula for life. How can I add and help this, rather than, I don't like the way this is going. This isn't what we signed up for. All of the depression that can come in a time like this. How can I help? Even if I'm depressed, how can I help? Especially if there's depression, how can I help? It gets you out of yourself, One of the things that, is suggested if you have depression is go work on a soup line, Get out there so you can be of service, because depression is really just a frustration of upset energy that's not being allowed to be released. And when you give it a job to do, because so many depressed people are really frustrated healers, right? That don't have a place to put that energy effectively. And so it just all goes in. So many sensitives, so many empaths, so many healers, right? The energy, if it doesn't have a place to go out, and it's not healthy, it doesn't know how to help itself, it will just kind of churn inwardly and turn into a kind of depression. And there's a lot of definitions for depression I could give, but that's one of them. This is kind of a depressed time, that's why I'm bringing that word up. So, an antidote is, or the antidote, but an antidote is, how can I be of service? How can I help you, right? We can say that to each other, even if we're in pain, right? I got to be with a friend that died recently, and in that dying, they helped me. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, it's not about, you could be going through the biggest transition in your life. How can I help? Right? And it changes the energy of how you feel inside yourself. And from that place when you're on your knees, there's an innocence to the advice or the help or what you do. There's a clarity in it because you are surrendered to the life in that case, to this physical experience. But even if you lost your job and you take a friend out for dinner, like it doesn't make sense, or you make a dinner in your home, right? Instead of shutting down and finding, what else can I keep of this, that I might lose, you say, here, that's my, if someone loves, my beautiful holy candle, and then you would say, I wish I could have a holy candle, and this is my favorite one, and I would say, here, you have it, right? Even if it's my last one, I do that. So generosity, right? In the face of lack, what is the antidote to lack, right? Is generosity. And you think it's about thinking abundantly, but the act of abundance is generosity, right? So it's about taking action. And to me, spiritual work is work. It is application of spiritual principle, not thinking about things, not knowing, oh, I'm in lack, so I should think abundance. It's, I'm in lack, what can I do for you? How can I offer you something? And what you put out there comes back. It's an old saying, right? The more you put out there, the more comes back to you. That's energetic fact, right? So the action versus the concept. You have to know what the concept is to take the action. So it matters that you know what the concept is in order to know what action to take. But the action is where you start to get the experiences and the evidence and the gifts that come from taking the action, right? So if nobody's able to understand you, you understand them, right? And if you're feeling lonely, then be open to helping someone else that feels lonely, or or sitting by themselves, and sit next to them, right? You start to take action in all of these ways. And Capricorn, that's what that sign is about, is the reality of things, right? The real doing of that step, up, up, up. It goes up. So that's the energy that we're going to be working with in the full moon energy. So I think I want to say, and let me think if there's one more thing. Yeah, I talked about it at the Meditation Mount full moon just a little bit a while ago. And I was talking about another quality of Capricorn is purity, right? And in that, and purity, like a diamond, right? It's perfect, right? That perfect clarity, right? And sort of the spiritual advice I would give right now is, how do you practice purity of mind inside our thinking? And so the answer to that, to me, at least today, is discernment, right? So as we encounter the data that's coming in from our families and friends and neighbors and news and the world, how do you move through all that data that can be so full of everything, right? And polarized everything, and discern what is true, right? And Capricorn energy is always, it never loses track of that North Star. It never loses track. It always knows, like a seaman knows, right? Where the North Star is. So it doesn't lose its way. And so using discernment as your North Star, what are you discerning through, is the difference between thinking something and knowing something, right? That ability to be able to discern between what I think about things and what I have come to know, which is very, very different. And to feel that, and it's definitely a sensory experience, to feel the difference of intuition to education, right? Memorizing something, learning something, reading the book about something, the directions to something. Not that those are wrong, those are that. But inspired thought, right, that comes like that without no thought, it just fills in the space, which is what happens inside meditation, right? We're looking for the gap, right? We're looking for the gap where the mind is for 1 second quiet and whoosh, it's in. And you don't need to sit there for 20 minutes. You're looking for that whoosh thing that does happen, that changes every atom of your body in your realization. And it is life-changing. In a meditation, your life can change forevermore because of 1 split second of realization. Or we hook on to what we already know, right? We hook on to what we already think. And this is how the world is, and this is how I am, and this is what's probably going to happen based on that, right? And we go into that train of thought, and we join that train of thought on the planet where millions of other people are on the same train, and we're forgetting to hold up to that inspired thought. So when we move into the meditation in a moment, we're going to play with that energy of lifting up, raising the frequency of our own thinking, raising the frequency of how we're holding ourselves in this world and how we're landing on it, and also that step, carefully, consciously, there's the word I've been trying to say all night, consciously stepping forward. I was talking to Drew this morning, and we were talking about mountain climbing and how present you have to be in order to mountain climb. And when you're going up, like as a human, right, not a goat, This was the point. Do not look down, right? You've got to place one hand exactly where you want it, and then you look and you plan, and you see the next handhold, and then you put your hand there, and you never are going, oh, my phone's ringing, right? You just complete concentration on going up, right? And that's the feeling of this time, complete concentration, knowing what you're doing, meaning to know, and meaning your word, and not speaking till you know what your word even is. Taking your time, right? Taking your time to place your hand position, or your movement, let's say. Okay, so on that note, let's go. So have a candle. If you have physical candle, light it. If you don't, just light it in your awareness. Good. And just find a good position to sit in and release the day, release even everything I just said, just let it go as you refine your center, refine your center. You know, how many classes have I led and said at the end, centered feels like this, right? At the end. Because I'm trying to get us to memorize the state, the vibrational frequency state of centered. So many of you have been in those classes when I've said centered feels like this. So here I'm putting it at the beginning. Find your center that you know by heart. And even if you've never meditated before, this is the first time you've ever meditated, yourself knows your center. So like a magnet, right? It clicks into place. It finds its home. Find your center now. And hold in that space, gently breathing through the heart center to begin. Connecting to the energy of the Mother of the world. Solar Cancer, full moon in Capricorn. Feeling those energies. As you gently breathe through the heart center. And feel that silence begin. Because we're looking for the gap, right? We're looking for the space in between the thoughts. We're looking for the space between the thoughts. For the light to get in. All you need is a crack for the light to get in. And so you gently start to calm the physical body down by a breath. To calm the emotional body down, harmonized to the soul with a breath. Or an om, right? You could use an audible breath, om, right? An audible breath or just a physical breath. And then finally, the mental body. And we talk about these as bodies because they're atmospheres. They're energetic atmospheres of the self. And you bring with a breath or with an om. The self comes to center, body, heart, mind. Om. And gently from your heart center, be aware of all hearts, everywhere. Heart to heart, everybody that's doing this meditation together right now. and all the people that are meditating right now, all around the planet, heart to heart, light to light, consciousness to consciousness. There is a world full of conscious souls. Everywhere, they're everywhere, in every place, in every single place. There are conscious, many, many, many conscious souls. And so heart to heart, light to light, connecting. And to our group that are meditating together right now, across our nation, across the oceans, to other continents, to all continents, from Iceland to Australia, India and China, United States and Guatemala, right? No exceptions, all places, conscious souls, in every single place, heart to heart connect. And then take that heart light and just move it like a silver stream right up into the head center and take your seat here in the cave, in the violet, in the clarity, in the place where the soul can connect with you. And feel right away as you're in that head center, the light of your own consciousness, the light of your own awareness. The violet. And whether you see this or sense this, or you can think of it as a number like pi, right? I think the head center might be pi. It's a good number for the head center. Feel the crown chakra open and your receptivity to the soul now. And feel the flood of love, the flood of love, the flood of love, the flood of light, the flood of recognition. Recognition produces relationship between the soul and the self, between the soul and the self. When you begin to remember again, 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 to realize that you are soul incarnated, you are soul incarnate, you are soul in form, in a form. You are light in form. And in that up, 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 up that we were talking about, climbing the mountain, that steady upward, constant, vibrational lifting way, easy, constant, conscious stepping up vibrationally, getting out of the mire of pain, physical pain, mental pain. Even if it's happening, right? You might be in physical pain, and still you can lift up and hold it in a higher frequency, to learn from that pain, to be inspired by it, to understand something from it. Don't be afraid of anything. Let the light of your awareness show you that every step of our life is sacred. Up, up, up. And as you come to that highest place, soul connected, highest place, say, for some moments in the silence, so I'll leave a gap here for you to allow yourself to be imbued with the light of the soul. And as you do, just one more addition to this. is smell, scent, the scent of pine needles and crystalline snow that's almost frozen in the air. There's a smell to that, there's a scent to that. And the difference between pine and pine cone, pine needle and pine cone, the earthiness and the needle of it, and the crystallization of the atmospheric energy of the air as it turns to ice. So what I'm talking about is crystal clear clarity. And from this place, enter into the meditation, guided by light. Crystalline light. Crystalline light. Pure light. Let it come through your crown chakra like snow, and let that light touch every single nucleus of every single cell in your body with this purified light. Pure light. And say from this place inside yourself, I organize myself to light, for I am light in form. I organize myself to light. To that pure light. I organize myself to this pure light, for I am light in form. And if you have a question here, or a thought, or a realization, just create the space for that now. Ask your soul, what would you have me know right now? In this pure light, ask your soul, what would you have me know right now? Right now. Receive it. Don't think about it. Receive it. Let it imbue you. Let yourself receive this. Try not to make any separation from it. This is a gift from the soul. The thinking makes it less. The more you can stand open to it, the more you can receive it, the forevermore. The possibility here is change, real illumination, real shift, real understanding, real forgiveness, real joy. Because it's light to light. And just let this all be received in your body, being. Let this be experienced as an experience, as a memory that you'll never forget. As direction, your North Star. That's clear, usable, practical, inspired, all at once. And write it down when you're done, share it with someone. Make it so. Make it so. And then use your breath to integrate all of this into your body being, into your life, into your real life. Changed. The vibrational energy of your self different than when you stepped into this meditation. And use your breath to memorize all of this into who you are and who you are becoming. And who you are becoming. And from this place of bright awareness, lucidity, and enlightened consciousness, send a blessing to our planet, to our world, to the blue earth, to our oceans, to our forests and mountains, rivers and lakes, to every single being on this planet. Send love, send light in this pure diamond light, crystalline light, holding it all up, holding it up, knowing the well-being of humanity and of all the kingdoms on this planet and the earth itself. And then just release that whole process as you feel your own feet and your own breath in your own moment, in your own now, until it starts to feel natural to begin to transition out of this meditation. Ooh. Yeah, like that. Like that. Feel it? Centered feels like this. And group-centered feels like this, right? The big energy. Good. Thank you, everybody. This has been wonderful. Good work. Thank you for being such a good coordinated energy together. Could you feel it? Everybody was right there. And when that happens, when two or more are gathered, right? We've got a little pile of people here. When we hold together like that, it can change the world with just two, let alone, more. So I'll see you next full moon, which is July 23rd, I think, is when we're going to do it. And so you'll see something about that. And just maybe you'll notice as you go back out into your evening, the scent of pine and that memory, that sense memory of clarity, of clear seeing, of like night sky when there's no haze or fog or smog, but just that desert night sky where there's a billion stars. Like go out into your night, into your day, into your month, in that step, 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 raising the vibration way. Thank you. See you next time.